Well, the nature of making thesis films at AFI is that everyone can submit scripts, and the school greenlights whichever ones they deem are the AFI thesis films. So starting from that point, Camille had written a couple scripts that we all really liked, and this is the one that AFI liked the most. And we're all pretty much on board with this from the get-go. It was something Camille can talk more at length about how she came up with the idea, but she had a script and she brought us all on board, and we were just waiting for AFI's approval to get going.
Yeah, so basically AFI works kind of like a studio with our films, and like everybody can submit a script like Brett said, and then this one got greenlit right away, and so then then the production people at AFI, like everyone is like looking at it and they're like, okay, this you can't do because it's too much money, or like then you go into like long production meetings and like story meetings, and you have a mentor as well who like helps you develop the story. Yeah.
I mean, basically our biggest note was we had a lot of driving shots before, and they told us A, it'd be too expensive, and B, it probably wouldn't be that interesting just to see two people in a car for...
Which is debatable, because some films do that. Yeah. But yeah, they were like, the first meetings we got were like, there's like 10 pages of driving over 15 pages, like that's not possible.
Yeah.
So we just changed all the scenes to like street or standing in the street. One of my friends who lived here got driving lessons with an instructor here in LA when he came here, who was Mexican, and my friend's Mexican, and like they started talking about this guy's life, the instructor, and like he basically told him this story, that he was like helping illegals like get papers, like doing this whole scheme. And like when he told me this, I was like, well, okay, like I just wrote it down somewhere, like that's interesting, I'll keep it somewhere. And then once the thesis process came, I was like, wow, maybe I should write this, because it's. But then I added like the girl, and just to make it like more dramatic, and yeah. But yeah, true story.
Yeah. I mean, like I think the challenge is the scope. We go from doing 3-day films with a $4,000 budget to a 6-7 day shoot with $65,000 budget.
Well, 50.
I mean, it can go as much as that. So the challenge is mostly learning to do a film twice as long as you've done before, and that includes a lot more locations. That includes hiring and paying a lot more people. I mean, and it's also, I'm sure you guys know this, it's the challenge is the emotional toll all this takes on you. Like a lot of the things we do may not necessarily be hard. Like finding a location isn't hard, but it's just the laundry list of things that you will have to worry about at any given time just kind of racks up and makes everything kind of that more difficult. So it's just... oh,
and also shooting film, sorry. That was the big thing. Because we shot 16 before, but never. I had never shot 35 before, so. Yeah.
So I mean, we didn't consciously go out and make a difficult film, but I mean, organizing the whole like shooting in Lancaster was a big deal, and that required like fighting with the faculty to let us shoot out there because they typically didn't let that. And I mean, everything has its own challenges. Like finding an apartment is surprisingly one of the hardest things to do out here, because no one in LA wants you to shoot there because they're all wise to it. So we have a lot of people that come from like other countries that aren't like we had an Israeli director who's so used to like shooting in the bar down the street, everyone's fine with it because it's not Hollywood where everyone's seen it before and everyone's wise to it. So
where
just
if you want to shoot a tree, you got to get a permit from the squirrel that lives in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and pay him too. So yeah, I mean everything's got its own little challenges. It's mostly scope and just dealing with stress. Mostly.
All right, let's give a round of applause for everyone.